you think about West Texas oil country, chances are you're thinking about two cities. Cities so connected that it's hard to even say their names without each other. Midland, Odessa. But are they the same? Well, by pump jack and rig count, maybe. But dig deeper, my friends, and you'll see that these communities are as different and unique as they are proud. We already took you to Midland. Next stop, Odessa! Woohoo! Ow! This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Like its neighbor, Odessa sits about 4 to 5 hours west of Dallas and Austin and about 2 south of Lubbock. So what happens when you take a water stop for the railroad and you discover oil right underneath its feet? Well, Odessa happens. Well, this boomtown now has over 150,000 people living in it. And with as much oil as they say is still underground, well, that number's not going to get any smaller anytime soon. But is this just a town for roughnecks and wildcatters? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's go tripping. Historically, Midland was business and Odessa blue collar. Odessa's downtown certainly feels more humble. And I must say that all in all, the town just feels grittier, but in a good way. Did I ever tell you, Richie, you're the Midland to my Odessa?
No, you've never said that.
I never said that? I
never said it before. Probably
You
shouldn't
are-
say it again.
Or do you want to be the Odessa to my Midland? That one sounds weird.
Wow, that
sounds worse.
That is worse, I think.
According to locals, these towns couldn't be more different, and ne'er the two shall be confused. Odessa pride dictates it. Despite being in the center of one of the largest and richest oil deposits in the world, Odessa has maintained a distinct small-town feel. And since it's still morning, well, let's hit up some small-town breakfast at a local favorite, Dumplins and Amigos. I'm sure I'm not alone on this, but there are times in life when I struggle about what I want for breakfast. Cowboy cooking or Mexican huevos? Well, struggle no more, because here you can have both. And this is the owner's daughter and restaurant manager, Viviana Juarez.
So is the Dumplins like the home cooking side and Amigos like the Mexican side, or
My parents took over the place about 16 years ago. So when they first took over, the place was called Dumplins. And then they added the Amigos for the Mexican food.
Well, dumplings always taste best when you eat them with your Amigos. It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
It's the two best parts of Texas breakfast. And for as long as anybody can remember, well, this has been the spot together with your Amigos for breakfast. Under the crystal chandelier and beside the fish. Okay, so that's a little different. But this place has small-town charm to spare. The regular coffee club often shows up well before the kitchen opens at 6 a.m. And the crowd keeps building from there.
Well, this kitchen back here is slamming. Is breakfast
Yes.
y'all's busiest time?
It's always busy. Everything's fresh made, so
Yeah, I see y'all are you're frying your own tortilla chips. You got this giant tub of salsa right here behind me.
you can have chips and salsa anytime.
I like that.
Hometown food served up with some hometown pride. That is, as long as you're an Odessa Bronco or Odessa Permian Panther. If you're from that other town that starts with a mid and ends with a land, well, you're on the wrong side of the tracks, amigo.
Is there a rivalry between Midland and Odessa?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Everybody will wear their shirts and give you looks like, hey, you're for the wrong school.
Okay.
But it is a big deal.
High school rivalries are a Texas tradition, but good grub like this can cross any boundaries.
Oh man, this is a solid West Texas meal right here. I got what's called the half and half. So I've got asado pork and chili verde beef. Also a couple eggs, hash browns, some beans, chips, salsa, tortillas. Basically any breakfast that's served with salsa is gonna be a good breakfast. let's get some of that in there too. Oh yeah. Oh man, that's great. I don't know how they get it so bright red, but I'm not gonna ask too many questions. That's authentic Mexican flavor right there. Real pungent and spicy. Here we go, choose your own breakfast taco adventure. Kicking off a day with a meal like this is a sign it's gonna be a very good day.
So let the day begin. In many ways, Odessa is the quintessential Texas town. Oil under our feet and jackrabbits on every corner. Although these ain't your typical variety. Especially not 8-foot-tall Jack Ben Rabbit, built in 1962 to memorialize Odessa's long history of jackrabbit roping. I'm serious, I couldn't make this stuff up. He's kind of like the unofficial mascot. The official ones are the Odessa Broncos and world-famous Permian Panthers. Ever heard of Friday Night Lights? Well, this is the school it's based on. So yes, in many ways, this is textbook Texas. But don't jump to conclusions too quickly, because here in Odessa, things get a little strange. Otherworldly even. And for you astronomy buffs, well, this will be right up your alley. The Odessa Meteor Crater. This is the second largest crater in the United States. It's believed to have been created 63,000 years ago when a meteorite from outer space crashed into the Earth at about 27,000 miles per hour. It made a big boom and a really deep hole. To help us dig ourselves out of this intergalactic mystery is museum manager Douglas Netherland.
What's people's common reaction when they step up and they see this crater?
Is that it?
Really?
Yeah.
But it is the second largest in the U.S., right?
Correct. Unfortunately, this is a vanishing crater, which means it's filling in slowly but surely. At one time, it was 100 feet deep. Due to erosion, we can't really get the exact width of the bowl because the bowl eroded pretty quickly.
And that's why it doesn't really look like a crater bowl. The West Texas wind and dust have filled it all in. Which presents the question, what's at the bottom of all this dirt?
They dug down a shaft 175 feet down in the center of the crater to see if they could find a main mass of meteorites.
Okay, that would make sense to me.
Unfortunately, they didn't. What they did find, though, was a big cluster of loose meteorites just kind of packed together, kind of like gravel.
Well, you got to find the spaceship. Eventually, we'll be able to find the spaceship, I assume.
Maybe.
The truth is out there. But alien impacts aside, what happened is that the meteor exploded, leaving pieces everywhere, which actually helped it be discovered by a local rancher in the 1920s when his horse kicked up an odd-looking rock. But hey, don't let the facts get in the way of a good conspiracy theory.
All right, hiking through a meteor crater, hiking through a meteor crater. This is the first time in my life I've ever been able to say that, actually. Oh, check this out. This is the very center of the crater. So that shaft goes about 170 feet straight down into the middle. And about 100 feet of that was the original crater, but it's all been filled in with dirt and silt, but West Texas wind at its best. All right, so y'all see this line of jagged rock that's sort of up near the top of the rim. That is the edge of the crater. So that rock should actually be many, many feet below the surface, but when the meteorite hit, it blasted it all out, pushed all that rock up about 50 feet above where it should be. You know, a lot of people come out here and they don't think it's as dramatic as it should be, but once you start kind of getting down here and understanding what happened, it doesn't make it any less cool. Hey, this is our Texas Odessa crater, all right? It's just naturally cool because it's in Texas.
If I've learned anything, it's that I definitely don't want to be standing around the next time one of these falls from the sky.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
I never really thought about it. We do have the luxury of not being pelted by meteorites all the time, every day.
Well, ones that make it through.
we're spoiled by our thick atmosphere.
Yeah, y'all live in a
Like,
bubble.
you know,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we truly live in a bubble.
We have our force field of power, not unlike the Death Star here. Do you think the aliens who launched the meteorites say that every time they throw one at us? This one will penetrate the shields.
I hope so.
And then it doesn't? Let's launch another meteorite at Earth. We're in an intergalactic water balloon fight with the aliens, and you're pretending it's just science.
Well, we can't even shoot back, you know. That's the
Yet.
rough part.
Yet.
Yeah.
Well, aliens have left quite a few marks on Earth. This crater, the pyramids, Stonehenge. Wait, what?
All right, so you can chalk this one up to the realm of the unexpected. A replica of Stonehenge in West Texas. It's almost completely to scale, just a little bit shorter. Major differences being they think that Stonehenge took about 6,000 years to complete. This one took 6 weeks. Oh, and Stonehenge they believe is like 12,000 years old. This one about 12 years old. So there are some differences. But man, for those that'll never make it over to England, this is a pretty good substitute. Stonehenge is in England, right? Yeah. Okay, good. All right.
We're on the campus of UT Permian Basin, and this is just one of the unexpected stops out here. On the other side of campus is the Presidential Archives and Leadership Library, something truly unique. You see, after the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963, the citizens of Odessa wanted to honor his memory.
The citizens decided to create a unique facility to be dedicated to the office of the presidency and to public service.
Oh, wow. Well, it's appropriate to have right here, you know, in West Texas, since 2 of our very own presidents lived out here.
Absolutely.
But that's jumping all the way to 41 and 43. This museum starts at numero uno. And museum director Charles Cotton is going to give us a tour.
Well, Chet, we start here with the very first president, George Washington, and we have them in order of their presidency, and so you can get a brief history of the United States as seen through the various activities that took place during their presidency. This particular section is our Founding Fathers section. Right here you will have the oldest memorabilia that we have in the museum. This is a button off of a Continental Army uniform that was worn by one of Washington's soldiers during the Revolutionary War.
That's incredible.
And so the museum moves president by president, artifact by artifact, campaign buttons, writings, and personal effects.
President Lyndon Johnson, we're very proud of, he's the only president to actually come and visit the archives. While he was here, and one of our local citizens said, LBJ, what are you going to donate? And he thought about it for a second and reached up and took off his hat and said, will this do? And so we have the president's hat.
Like, look, George Washington's signature. His actual signature. Was Gandalf our president ever? All right, so check it out. This is an actual seat from Marine One, which is the helicopter that flies the president around. And that was in that helicopter all the way back to JFK. So each of the presidents on this wall set their presidential behind in that chair right there. That's pretty awesome.
And of course, behind every good president is an amazing first lady. Each of their inaugural gowns have been recreated in miniature form. But what I love so much is the personal look into the life and philosophy of each of our 45 U.S. presidents, including the way they viewed government.
As you notice, we have all of these quotes on the walls from all the various presidents, but I have to tell you, Kat, that my very favorite one is here from James A. Garfield.
Okay.
The people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption. That was said back in the 1800s. Do you think that is still today?
Yeah, it's as if he was speaking directly to our generation,
Absolutely.
right?
When you study history, you realize that people in politics don't really change all that much. But the biggest artifact sits behind the museum, the Bush family home, occupied by George H.W., Barbara, and little George W. when they lived in Odessa, and decorated just like it would have looked on the Christmas morning of 1948. This artifact will never be topped, nor should it be. So we've already seen a replica of Stonehenge. But ifeth we was to ventureth to another collegeeth, with yet another fair replicaeth, what wouldst it be? Well, how about this? Odessa's own Shakespearean Globe Theatre, a replica of Shakespeare's famous stage in London, England, here on the campus of Odessa College. And here's theater lover and college board member Larry Johnson.
Oh, wow. I feel like I'm back in the history books. This is incredible. So are we standing in a pretty authentic replica of the globe right now?
Well, you know, what they have said is that this is the most authentic replica of the globe that we have in the United States. Mrs. Marjorie Morris was teaching Shakespeare, and she had the vision of experiencing the opportunity to be in plays. And they came up with the idea of actually building a replica of the Globe Theater. Now this is crazy.
Oh, that's a crazy idea, but I love it.
West Texas has no shortage of crazy ideas. Crazy brilliant.
So how does it work? Can it be reconfigured? Is this our Juliet balcony up here?
You've got it. The Juliet windows on both sides. The top portion is called heaven.
That's awesome.
But as there is heaven, there's also hell. So the stage opens up with a trap door. It allows us to have actors that are underneath. So yes, it can be reconfigured. They had no seats in the bottom area, and the people that were close to the stage were called groundlings. And the groundlings would work back and forth with the actors. They would ask questions of those groundlings that were there, and the people that were enjoying it were up in the balcony seats.
Okay.
The ones that could afford the good seats.
Yeah, these are the cheap seats on the ground right
They
here.
were the groundlings.
But if thou beest not a Shakespearean fan, well, they also use the stage for countless other productions and music concerts. It's truly a one-of-a-kind venue.
Oh, this is bringing back some memories. I did drama in high school. I don't know if that surprises you or not. La 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 la. I'm feeling motivated. Set the stage, set the lighting. I'll be right back.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Some achieve greatness. Some have greatness thrust upon them. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Et tu, Brute? Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Get thee to a nunnery. Oh! All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Where my players at?
Broadway and Hollywood, you have my number. And now my audition tape. What can I say? I'm a man of the arts. But my favorite form of art is still the culinary arts. A passion that I share with the folks of Curbside Bistro. Dinner, anyone? Curbside started out as the local food truck of owners Alex and Stephanie Barrientos. And when their popularity outgrew their small kitchen on wheels, well, they opened this place, bringing their funky vibe and even funkier recipes with them. Sliders are the game here, along with the most ridiculous, delicious hand-cut French fries.
Okay, dude, so what is this, man?
All right, those are famous buffalo fries.
Buffalo Mountain is what this should be called.
Perfect combination.
Yeah. And you get some of that sweet and tanginess, and the ranch, fries.
So, where'd you learn how to cook?
I actually went to culinary school, and we wanted to open up a restaurant, but that was a little bit too hard. We said, you know what, let's start a food truck. And we both gave up our jobs.
We prayed really hard first. We prayed really hard, and God showed us, and He led us.
Amen.
Yes,
That's great.
Yes.
That's called faith in motion. And after they committed, well, the motion got crazy.
We went through Monaghan's, through Andrews, Crane, Kermit, McKamey.
All them little towns, yeah.
We hit up
Y'all had a
little...
big radius, man. That's a big footprint.
We get messages all the time, when y'all coming back to Monaghan's? Or when y'all coming to Andrews?
Hey, the food truck's parked for now, so you're gonna have to come to us, all right?
Yes, sir.
Being planted here has allowed Alex and Stephanie to dig into the community they call home.
We see the main importance is giving back. The whole community, everybody that comes in here is like one big part of our family. So we have to give back. We have to be involved in our community, also care about what's going on. What we started off is every year we do a free Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
For everyone, for everybody.
Anyone who wants to come.
Anybody.
Yeah.
I get the idea that y'all see this as more than just filling people's bellies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's their love for the Boomtown where they live that has kept their own business booming. Folks now trip from all over to enjoy some of the most inventive sliders this side of the Colorado River. Scratch that. Make it this side of the Sabine River.
Got some crazy stuff on the menu, man.
Our #1 sellers are Homer Simpson. That has a bacon macaroni and cheese on top of a beef patty that we hand press, and then we top it out with bacon and then drizzle it with barbecue sauce. That's our #1 seller. Our
I love burgers, I love mac and cheese, I love bacon, and I love barbecue sauce. So, like, what's not to love about that?
Right? Yes.
I got my work cut out for me.
All right, dude, I love the slider idea because you get to sample 2 different burgers in one meal. The Borracho Tejano, which is translated to drunk Texan. You think the Permian Basin has a lot of layers? Look at this burger. Oh my gosh. The patty, which is a mix of beef and mushroom. You got some pulled pork. You got a sliced open corn fritter. You got some cilantro, ranch, fresh jalapenos, pickles, and a bun. Oh yeah. My name is Chet Garner, and I approve this slider. It may be tiny, but it packs a punch. Time for the Homer Simpson. I mean, I guess they call it the Homer Simpson because it's just a big doofus burger for doofuses like me. This was perfectly dialed in because this isn't just some like garbage mac and cheese. This is like really good mac and cheese. Man, with food like this, I know why people chase that food truck all around West Texas.
And with this permanent location, they can just sit back and let the customers come to them. All right, so we got one last thing to do before we end our time out west. And we just so happen to be visiting on a Friday night in the fall, which can only mean one thing: Friday Night Lights. Tonight, across town in Midland, 2 of the most storied programs in Texas will meet head-to-head on the gridiron in a truly classic Texan game.
Oh man, here it is, Friday Night Lights. I've been waiting to come to this game for a long time. Midland Lee versus Odessa Permian. And the game tonight actually has huge stakes. Both these teams are doing really well, and it's going to be decided on this field who wins district and who makes the playoffs. Woo! If you're a football fan in Texas, it doesn't get much better than this right here.
This is what Texas football is all about. The tradition is thick, with the animosity of a bitter rivalry even thicker. It sounds silly to say, but this is a night they'll tell their kids about someday. Did we or did we not defeat our arch nemesis when it really mattered? And after 60 minutes of hard-fought football, that answer will be sealed forever. I'm so nervous, although I'm not really sure which team to be nervous for. But we're getting a very good game. Among the oil fields of West Texas is a place that's every bit as much small town as it is thriving Boomtown. A place where you can transcend space and time only to come back down into one of the most Texan towns ever. Where honoring our heritage still matters, the stomach is still the best way to reach people's hearts, and the traditions that make us Texan are as alive as ever.
Oh man, this one is turning into a Texas classic. So I'll see all y'all out on the road. Vaya con Dios, amigos. Wow. Pretzel and cheese, pretzel and cheese. Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.